Here we are.
Hello, here we are. Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast.
I think I should play the little bit. You ready? Here we go. Here we go, everybody. This is the big moment. Here we go. World premiere. Not that anybody's looking. That was it. It was quick, but I liked it nonetheless. That's been my excuse to my wife for many years. So there we go. Never mind.
Very nice. So, hello. We are expecting a Southampton guest who hasn't arrived yet. But listen, we like to do things on the fly, and we laugh in the face of danger. That's why we're Watford fans. So hopefully Southampton will be joining us shortly. But before any of that, Peter, news and matches and stuff. Yes,
news. Let's do news first, because some of you may, I'm sure, have seen it. I'm sure it's all over stuff on Twitter. Haven't really had a chance to go and engage with it yet. But finally, the Supporters Board election and the Watford Supporters Trust. You will, I'm sure, well, you may have done, you may have not. You may have had your head in a bucket. Buckets are very nice to put heads in. I personally think they're underrated on that particular score. It's there to act as, I was talking about this thing during Parlaci. People have been talking about it through the FSA for a number of years. Scott Duxbury had said about 4 years ago he would like to have a fan engagement board. It's had the title of a shadow board, all sorts of things. Finally, there has been, put up on the website. Let's make that big so you can all see it. That yes, there has been a process, and I think there are some comments, some points, and some complaints that certain people haven't made it. That'll all come out in the wash. However, the most important thing here is this is a supporters board where supporters will be elected periodically for a period of time to represent the fans. Now, I'm not going to say this will be perfect in any way, shape, or form, because it's the start of something. But I tell you what, something is a damn sight better than absolutely sweet sod all. If you go to that particular web page, and you can download all of the kind of short statements made by the 12 people who've been whittled down by, I believe, from 98, what they say, and how they will want to represent you, kind of thing. And we'll see if there's any more sort of engagement coming from there. But it's a pretty good start. It's a 13-page document, including the cover, and each one of those guys is saying the role that they're applying for, which seem to be primarily match day and match day, kind of supporter experience. It seems to be commercial and finance. Now, of course, everybody will know, because we go over, and of course now everybody else does, has a look at the finances, because with the likes of, crikey, Morecambe is a good news story, but Sheffield Wednesday are still suffering chronically at the moment with ownership and financial issues. It's obviously a pretty imperative one. So there are people there who are kind of vying for the various things, and you will have an opportunity to vote if you have a valid fan ID. And it says that they'll all be validated and made sure. On that particular website, on the Watford Observer, it does actually also say further down that you can go in and see a couple of other things, which are the fan engagement plan, which we'll kind of talk about, which you can download, but also the supporters board constitution. So the plan as to how this has all been put together should really all be in there. So there you go, something for everybody to go and do, some homework, if you will. But it's got to be a start of something. It's got to be better than nothing. I appreciate that, especially having done a few things, that if you are going to do something in a supporters, ecosphere, there will be people who will have a go at you. There will be people who will say that you've got another agenda or this or that, and people will throw stuff at these people. This has surely got to be better than having absolutely nothing of this ilk in place. It means that we would have some supporters that we can all talk to. Everybody with an issue can go and talk to. They can go and talk with the board, as well as talking together on a regular basis. So I really hope it can start. I'm sure it won't be perfect, but I kind of fingers crossed. It will go well. Justin, are you sort of what are your thoughts on it?
on the shadow board, like you said, it's something that it has been needed for a long time. I don't think we're ever going to know quite how effective it's going to be until it's been running for a while. I would imagine a season's probably a decent amount of time to give this sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, make sure that you go and vote for who you want to vote for. They open on, I think, it opens on Friday, and it's open for a week, I think, possibly to the 7th of September, I think. So it's open for maybe 9 days. So it opens on Friday. Have a look, see who you want to vote for them. Make sure you're voting for somebody that you think is going to represent you well on this shadow board. And we'll see how things go. It's good to have one, right? It's better to have one than not, I think.
I think so. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but we get on with it anyway. I've said enough about not being perfect. Martin is here from Southampton, so Martin will be bringing you in just a second. But before we look forward to the Southampton game at the weekend, which it gets everybody excited, just in time to then go, oh, really? It's an international break. We'd only just started. What the is that all about? Never mind. We'll get to that. Let's go back and have a look at last weekend and just some thoughts around our away game at Swansea. For me, some of the highlights, and I thought, for me, Kieran Gard continues to impress, and he looks increasingly like he is going to be comfortable quicker than we thought he would be in the Championship. He was putting himself about. He's starting to kind of understand that actually when you come up against quote unquote big hairy arsed Championship defenders, big hairy arsed is always the descriptive term, by the way, for Championship defenders, especially in the centre, that he could do that. And of course, literally bar a really good save from Boller, putting a great cross in with a header that was saved by Vicarage, but also Cabango had an absolute worldie of if you can have a worldie kind of goal line clearance where he kind of kicked it off. He could have really done well. So I was so pleased for this lad, because I think everybody against Charlton were going, why isn't anybody supporting him? Why aren't we getting up close to him? Why isn't he controlling the ball or really being able to do anything as much as we might have hoped? And of course, he's slowly building in. We need to give these young players time. But, the bonus also is that him and Iran Kunda as a partnership looks to impress, as Iran Kunda is getting up there and supporting him and running on and beyond is a thing of joy. And of course, as for the free kicks, they're quite good, aren't they? I think we need to have another look at one of those. Let's get that back in. Here we go. Wallop. Love that. You've got to say he hits it, and it's not just the power on it, it's the dip, it's the up and down. And of course, everybody enjoyed that. There they are, good old travelling horns. Look at this. Beautiful shot into the top. And you really get here the dip. It really gets up, gets down, gets out. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Doesn't matter when your team scores one of those. It's always a fantastic goal, isn't it? Always. When your team scores one of them, it's the best feeling ever. And of course, some of us are watching. How should we say this? Slightly behind the actual time, so you get a notification to go, "Oh, Watford have scored," and you think, "We've got a free kick here. That ain't going to be the goal, surely." And then when it happens, you go, "Oh, yes, please." So
true.
He looks like a lot of fun. Iran Kunda looks like a lot of fun. He's a delight.
But for those people wondering, why is Justin still pixelated? You told us last week he was getting his Wi-Fi sorted out. Justin, before we move on to the rest of the game, what's the current Wi-Fi situation in the BT household?
It was supposed to have been done yesterday. They then sent me a message on Friday to say it's going to be on the 10th of September. I then had a go at them. They said nothing we can do about that. And then I got a message yesterday to say, it's now happening on the 1st of September. So hopefully the next time I do this, new laptop, new Wi-Fi. If that doesn't sort it, I don't know what's going to sort it, Peter.
And who are the company that's name and shame?
You want a name and shame? It's BT. BT Open World are the people that are.
It's BT, and your surname is Justin.
It's BT, yes, but not
it
BT.
Fucking writes itself. Let's be quite frank. Yeah, let's get back to this goal and the free kick. Look, everyone enjoyed that, and we saw the travelling guys. Well done, everybody, for getting down there and great support. And we really do mean everyone. There's been a real kind of hit when we've managed to get the goals, and of course we didn't against Charlton, but since then, of everybody coming together and making it a real collective piece. Now, on the how can I put this, on the Twitter Spaces, came in and we talked about the goal conceded, because of course that did obviously puncture everybody's balloon, because 80th minute you think you're doing all right and suddenly the wheels came off. Everything's been talked about, you know, the defend, not just the defending obviously, but I'll get on to talk about the defending just in a minute, just one part of my observation on it, but also the depth of the squad. And my thoughts on this are, what we have done is we have built a squad through the summer principally based on playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, which is very close to each other. But of course, after 120 minutes of football, about 30th minute of the game against Norwich in the midweek on the first week, we're 2-0 down. Selvik goes down and suddenly we're changing shape. And since then, we have stuck to 3-5-2. And so what we have is a squad that has been built to play 3 up front, and suddenly we're playing 2 up front. So you've now got a real top-heavy squad that's not really capable of playing, that's not really been built for 3-5-2, not for 5 central midfielders. There's a reason why when we kept Sissoko and KMB on so long, because he didn't think we had anybody else who could do anything. Tom Dele-Bashiru could argue, but his argument was, this was Petzolano said, Tom Dele-Bashiru is a holding midfield player. Well, yeah, he was for bits of last season, but he's had the rest of the time I think he can get forward and get on the end of things, but fine, it's there. However, the problem of building a squad and then changing literally right at the start of the knockings gives us, if you think about it, you've got 2 playing up front in that 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, depending on where the fullbacks are. And at the moment, the star men are, as mentioned, Irankunda and Kierkegaard. But the other players, when fit, who would potentially be vying for those 2 positions, as I'm thinking about it, you'd be looking at potentially, let's have a look at it. Chakfatadze, straight away. Vata, Bar, who's obviously, there's 3 of those players that we would have thought would be a second line of attack straight away on its own. But you've also got Semedo. You've also got Dumbia. Remember Dumbia? You've also got Armour. And there's a host of other players who are going to be struggling to get into that. So it'd be really interesting to see how we go. However, I did want to when we came off it, somebody came in and said, Abankwah, he should have headed that ball away, and he's not wrong at all. But I started to try to make a point about what happened in the precede to the goal, and this is a couple of just things that I just want to kind of talk through, and you'll see it when we are here. Here is an example earlier on in the game where the ball is. Let's have a look, see if we can get it to move. It seems to pause for some reason. Let me try it again. Where the ball is played across. No, it's not working. Never mind. I'll come back and do that again. Never do this live. Never a good idea. The problem was, is that the lad who'd come on, I'm trying to remember his name now. What's his name? Vipotnik or whatever his name is. He came on and he was on the left-hand side, and he drifted off of both Ryan Andrews, and Ryan Andrews was pushed up a little bit, so he was in behind him. He wasn't really his man. He was also in behind Max Alain. And then what happened was we had the other 3 in the back 5 in Kebun and in Abankwah and in Bola, who sat very, very deep, very, very deep. And what happened was, as they all pushed up and went, well, that's okay, Vipotnik's offside, and he sort of was at that particular point, but he ran along the line, and he went from Ryan Andrews to Max Alain to Kebun, and then he basically kind of just jutted in front of Kebun to get back on side, and then in front of Abankwah. And at no point, and this was my point about it, was at no point did somebody pass him on as a player to go, he's coming in, mind out the side. Neither did the goalkeeper say it as well. And it's one of the most important things that, as from a defensive point of view, that you need to do is make sure you have communication there. So we will see how that goes. But in the meantime, and giving him the odd nod, I'm coming to you here, Martin. Let's bring in Martin from Southampton, everybody. This is good.
Good to see
Martin,
you guys. How are you both?
Oh, we're good, thank you.
All good. Yeah.
We're good. No more video, because that's all seeming to crash under the weight of Justin's Wi-Fi or something or other. Not sure what that is, but there we go.
It is a game changer. Top Wi-Fi. I've been down this road. I tell you what, I've made 2 big investments in the last year. One of those was fibre optic broadband, an absolute nightmare to get done. By the way, I've been down that road with OpenReach. many issues. Finally got that in, and then it was basically buying a laptop where I could process videos quicker and turn over content faster, because I want to react to games really quickly. I've got a channel where I'm looking to get stuff out fast, and literally rendering videos was a nightmare, and the laptop was an absolute game changer. So yeah, you'll be a happy man in a couple of weeks' time.
I mean, this is a Watford Football Club podcast, but let's talk these sort of things. It is full fibre broadband that I am being upgraded to, so we will see if this makes any difference whatsoever. But anyway, enough of such nonsense. How are you? How are you, Martin?
I'm okay. I think I'm in for a busy few days with the window. It's fast at the moment. It's been so slow up until now, and we get a week out and everything goes absolutely crazy. We've been crying out to get players out the door, and we need to get a few bodies in quickly, and it feels like it's all going to end up being in the next few days. There's some positive news tonight that Finn Azaz has agreed to sign for us. A lot of money they're going to pay for him, in excess of around 15 million. The deal's going to be worth it. It starts off with, I think, about 13 plus some add-ons to start with, but he'd be a very good signing. I'm not sure he'd be available for the weekend because I think his medical is going to be for another 48 hours, but I think he's a really positive move for us. So yeah, excited about that one.
He's a good player. Why are Borough letting him go? I don't. When we played Borough up there last year and we got a result up there, he was on the bench, having just played, really, really well. I mean, I grant you, I'm asking you to get into the mind of Michael Carrick, which probably isn't the thing anybody wants to do on an evening like this. But I think he was fantastic when he was on loan at Plymouth. I think every time I've seen him play for Borough, I think that's a cracking signing for you. You must be well happy with that.
Yeah, I think it is a good signing, and spending the money that they've recouped on Tyler Dibbling, which I didn't think they spend a great deal of it, to be honest. We're kind of being told that there's a couple more in the pipeline as well. The big thing is there's a lot of outgoings to get done. There's still a lot of deadwood in our squad, and I think it's a big thing, isn't it? When you get relegated and you have a season like we had, it was a stinker of a season. We stunk the Premier League out. We were absolutely woeful from start to finish. A lot of damage was done, not just to the squad, and their mental well-being, I would imagine, as well, because it would have absolutely beat them up, and the fans as well. I think we all took an absolute pasting last year, and I think everyone's feeling fragile. And I think the start of this season is definitely a hangover, and you've still got a lot of players in the starting 11 at the weekend that were playing last season for us, that were getting beaten and smashed to pieces week in, week out. So I still think there's, people talk about getting relegated and having a reset. Having a reset is really, really, really difficult, because you've got to try and move players on. You've got to try and bring bodies in it. And the people are on big money. It's a really difficult time for a relegated club, but hopefully they get it right.
You've got to balance the finances and everything. However, if anybody is going to make a rebuild, and I think it's something that's kind of good here, I think we need to get in and we need to talk about Will Still, who is now the man who is coming in. And of course, the question is, who is Will Still? I can almost hear everybody asking, who is Will Still? Don't worry, you don't have to do it rhetorical. But who is he indeed? Well, if for anybody who doesn't know, we'll find out about the story in Southampton from Martin here, but just a little bit here. He grew up in Belgium and he speaks French. He spoke English at home, so he speaks English absolutely fluently. You would never place him anywhere, and he also speaks Dutch because he played football in and around, kind of obviously in the sort of Flemish parts of Belgium, and maybe across the border once or twice. And he's one of three brothers, and they all sort of built their careers in football. And they kind of have occasionally worked together, such as at Lon. Be interesting to find out if all three of them are at Southampton. But an interesting thing when you hear this guy, he's quite self-deprecating. He just seems a really, really nice guy. And one of the things he said was, growing up in Belgium, not many people are ginger and speak English. This is a very good start for any interview, as far as I'm concerned. I've always stuck out like a sore thumb. I think football's always helped me integrate and be part of something, and it just became the thing that he was, kind of really good at. I mean, not only obviously is he kind of, strange for him to see, a ginger person speaking English in Belgium, but also if that is the brother Still, the only one in the household, I must confess, I do wonder what the milkman kind of looked like. I'm just asking. I'm not wanting to throw any. We'll get to that. He started off as a video analyst at his first club in Belgium, but then he started to kind of get known, and he kind of worked with the younger teams, etc. And then he kind of ended up combining that with assistant manager roles. And he kind of this move from the kind of computer to the training room sort of got him and his brothers the term laptop managers, and it's not something that he actually kind of shies away from, which is again really nice. He says when you're working at clubs in Belgium with no budget, everybody looks at football manager, transfer marked. I mean, I'm sure that Martin as well probably does an awful lot of stuff with transfer mark podcast, use it all the time. Everyone looks at it, at FIFA ratings as well. I'd be stupid not to at least look at it because it's there. So he came to a real kind of real prominence, and the Athletic did some really good bits on him and his brothers and everybody when he went to Stade Reims. And he was famously, the club was fined like €25,000 or £22,000 every time he took a game, because he was kind of getting further up than the licenses that he got. So he hadn't got a pro license. A number of his original managerial pieces were sort of interim periods, because in Belgium, he needed to have the next level up there as well. So he kept kind of going up and being better than his qualifications in many ways. So he was doing great stuff at Stade Reims. That ended up sort of parting ways after a little while, but he's always been seen as this amazing sort of protege-like person who's going to be coming in. 2024, he went to Lyon. Lyon, of course, having the excellent colours of yellow, red and black, I'm just saying, and he took them to 8th in the league. But he left Ligue 1 because he'd been working at Stade Reims in France and there, and he basically returned to the UK and to England. And for anybody who doesn't know why, here's why. And I love this picture. When I put this picture, you'll first of all go, that's a lovely picture. It's romantic. You may even say, oh, I know her. But then just spot the quality of photobombing that goes on in this shot. It's world class.
That's Emma. Look at the guy in the middle. Fantastic.
That is, you will never not see that in that photo again. It's like the arrow in sort of like Federal Express. You'll see it every time now. Yes, absolutely. Emma Saunders, she absolute royalty from Watford's point of view, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, match day announcement, Hive Live, done all of the things with with Sky, etc. And she was basically having a kind of an absolute health crisis, and he's come back to the UK to basically be with her and in proximity to her, and there they are. Now, of course, the question is, if they get married, would she take his name, or would she be Emma Saunders still?
I see what you've done there.
Come on, that punchline deserved better.
I believe they're married. I believe they're already married. He spoke about he spoke about it the other day as his wife. So I'm guessing they're married.
Emma, congratulations. So I still want to know if it's Saunders still or still. Well, the question therefore means, does she have to support Southampton now? I mean, she was wearing the old Lons kit there, which I think is only reasonable. Is it going to be a good weekend, sir, in the still Saunders or Saunders still household? What are your thoughts about the weekend coming then, Martin?
Yeah, well, she's certainly been in the crowd a bit. She was at the Ipswich game a couple of weeks ago. She didn't have a Southampton shirt on, but she was in amongst the away fans. She's obviously fairly busy on Soccer Saturday at the weekends, and she's on TV a lot. He's a massive supporter of her, and I've got to say, what a fantastic broadcaster she's become as well, because she's absolutely magnificent. She's one of the best in the game. I think she's such a good listen. She presents so well, and she comes across really well. And I'm not just saying that because she's married to Will and she's with Will, but I've got a huge amount of admiration for both of them. And he's come back, like you said, the health crisis that she had. She was really unwell, and he wanted to be closer to her. I think he was jetting back to England a lot in between games, and he wanted to be with her. The good news is that she's on the road to recovery, and I believe that she's in a good place. She's back at work and doing her thing,
which is fantastic news. I think for everybody to be pleased about that.
I didn't realise she was a Watford fan till then. I didn't know. I didn't realise.
Yeah. She was our matchday announcer and Hive Live, which we talk about. I mean, depending on whether or not, I can't remember whether Southampton were in. I'm fairly sure you might have been with the Championship, but a lot of people had iFollow. What happened with our club was they put together this thing called Hive Live in seemingly about 3/4 of an hour, and suddenly we got this little TV program. And it, I appreciate that the brand and the name and the association has kind of followed over previous years when kind of streaming has become there. But what they did at the start of it was absolutely phenomenal, because everybody was getting a generic service. We had an hour-long show, before. We had the kind of the mop-up show at the end, and then the broadcast as well. And yeah, no, it was super. And prior to that, she was the stadium announcer, and she's one of those. She's done what Will Still has done, but within broadcasting. Because she started off small and kind of tracked a path through, and is now doing extremely well. Anyway, enough of this loving. Let's get across and talk about Southampton, because late goals, kind of featured in that in your first game that came in. The hope for a late goal against Stoke, which was which didn't become forthcoming, the game against Ipswich, etc. It's been a tricky old kind of start for everything. How have you seen everything going? And then let's have a look at your arrivals and your departures as well, because of course one more is going to have to be added to that list, as you just said today. What are your thoughts on the season thus far?
Yeah, it's been a rocky start. Always thought it was going to be. It was a huge job to come into, only winning 2 games last year, going down as the second worst team ever. 12 points. We were dreadful. Confidence was low. Players were unfit. There wasn't any structure to the way we play football. We changed manager mid-season because we obviously started out with Russell Martin. He had a very specific way of playing football. Obviously, he got found out really, really quickly, and it went south fast.
Yeah.
And we were sinking like rapidly quick. They tried to save it, but too late by bringing even Juric in. He was just the wrong man at the wrong time. He wanted to play a high energy, high press, but it's very, very hard to start trying to get players fit mid-season when they've been used to having the ball, and then you want to go and start pressing. So it was a disaster, and still picks it up really. And the players never really turned things around under Juric. Like fitness levels were just way short. I thought we got outran by every side we played against. Literally every team we played against outran us, and it's been like that for a long period of time. So the one thing he's done, he's really worked hard with fitness levels over pre-season. I thought how he's come across in pre-season has been nothing short of brilliant. I think he's been superb. He's handled the media really well for a young man. I can't speak highly enough of how he's dealt with it. He's obviously got a lot of egos in the dressing room. He's obviously got to deal with that as well. He wants to change the way that we play football. He wants to play from with a high energy. He wants to go forward. He doesn't want to be seeing the ball going backwards all the time. He wants to see it go forward. I think his biggest issue is that they haven't been able to do the business quick enough that he's needed to give him the personnel that's required. He's been playing with a 3 centre backs, 2 wing backs, because I think he'd rather play with a 4. He's referred to it a lot. He needs different ways to play football. He wants to be adaptable because he wants to win games. He doesn't care how we win games. He wants to win games. Look, he got it over the line and made some really good substitutions against Wrexham. And the fitness levels, like I spoke about, really told in the game, because we outran them in the end. For the first time I've seen us outrun a side in ages, and we were just overpowered them in the end. And we should do with the quality that we've got. Ipswich, I thought, was a good result, actually. To go there, one of the favourites for the division, and to walk away with a point I was really happy with. And then I sort of go into the Stoke game and I thought, this is a big day for us. Struggling to find somebody to score goals, a lack of creativity, a lack of flair in the front three. Yeah. Ross Stewart struggled to get fit. Damien Downs has been brought in. He looks way short. So, a little bit concerning sort of in the final third. And that's how it played out against Stoke, really. And
which is remarkable, really, because you've got, I mean, obviously, you say about Ross Stewart, who was brought in from Sunderland. He was doing great things there. And then you went and signed him, and he almost instantly seemed to get injured or was carrying something already. I don't know. But, he's not managed to get back to his fitness. Hopefully he will do. But you've also had people like, for example, Cameron Archer, who was once linked with us, and we all thought, oh, wow, doesn't he look fantastic? When he drop in on loan to various clubs, and obviously, when he was with Aston Villa. You've got Adam Armstrong, who again has ripped up the Championship in previous seasons. Are these guys out of your forwards, which are on the incline and which are on the decline? In terms of those forwards, and then we'll kind of get in and talk about your wingers, because
great question
about Fraser.
Really good question. Sort of on from last night at Carrow Road, really good victory. Cameron Archer was really, really good. He played well, Cameron Archer. I was really impressed with his performance. He struggled to get a start. He had a good pre-season. He was scoring goals in pre-season, and looked really fit, and had a point to prove because it was a tough year from last year. His confidence player, Cameron Archer.
Yeah, very much so.
However, he's not started any games in the league till now. He's been coming off the bench, and he looks a little bit. His body language has suggested that he's not a happy boy. He wants to play football, and rightly so. Adam Armstrong is the one on the decline. The system that still plays at this moment in time doesn't suit, or he doesn't fit in it anywhere. Not anywhere in the team, and it's a tough one to take. But he's not a 9 because he can't hold the ball up. He's just not good enough as a number 9.
Yeah.
Multiple managers have tried to play him in that position in the 3 years he's been here, 4 years he's been here, and he can't do it. He's just not good enough to do it. When he scored all the goals in the Championship last time round, we played with a flat 4, and up front we play Adams as a target man, and you drop in two either side of him and just play a little bit deeper, and with the 2 in midfield, like hold him like 2 6s really. But with Adam playing out wide on the left, he could have that freedom to cut inside. He could go in and pick it up and run with the ball. And look, he was brilliant. He was hungry. He wanted to get back to the Premier League. There was a real hunger and energy about him.
Yeah.
I think the big issue is that the system doesn't allow for him. But I'm not convinced he's still got that hunger to go back to the Premier League because he's had 2 attempts at it and he struggled. He looks way short to be a player that's going to play at Premier League level. And he obviously was deemed not good enough last year, and he went out on loan to West Bromwich Albion, and he didn't do anything there. He struggled, and he's come back. He's lost a fair bit of weight actually. He looks quite fit, but I just don't see the armour that I saw a couple of years ago. That hungry man that wanted to score goals, and he was an absolute beast last time round. And it's sad to see. And actually, though we started the first 3 games of the season, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be sold. I just wouldn't be surprised. Nothing surprised me in football. But yeah, he doesn't look really settled at this moment in time, which is sad.
You mentioned Damien Downs, who's been brought in from FC Con.
Yeah.
That was a very disparaging laugh. Martin, I apologise for riffing on your pain. You've brought him in, one of only, seemingly 3 additions that have come in. Tell us a little bit about him, because you know, according to Transfermarkt, which always has the old kind of inverted commas over the top of it, 8 million euros. But have you seen what the scouts saw in terms of bringing him in? Seemingly not.
No, it's funny. I do a lot of transfer shows on my channel, and I had a journalist come on that had spent a lot of time watching Damien Downs' clips. He had the privilege of being able to get all the scouting clips, and he kind of gave an insight that his touch wasn't great, didn't know if he was quick or not, and said he was really raw and had a long way to go. And I was thinking, hold on a minute, why have we bought a guy that's not rounded, that's not got a good touch on him to play in the central position? Because inevitably he's going to play with one striker. And the biggest lesson last time round in the Championship was to have an experienced striker with a good touch and that could fend people off. Shay Adams. He didn't score. Yeah. He scored a fair few goals, but massively written off by loads of people. Oh yeah, he's not good enough because he doesn't score enough goals. Not good enough at Premier League level. Hold on a minute. He's freaking good at Championship level. He's one of our best players last time round.
Yeah.
The lesson is get somebody with experience, with a good touch and got a good vision. This guy looks way short. He's missed a couple of open goals. His touch has been poor. I think he touched the ball 4 times last night. He came on against Stoke. He had 25 minutes. No, he didn't. He came on at half time against Stoke. He didn't do anything. It's early, and I don't want to write anyone off because it's really unfair to be really harsh on him. But what I've seen, I'm like, we probably need to go and sign another striker. Like I know it'd cost a lot of money, but if you're looking for experience, Josh Sargent at Norwich City, there was rumours that would sell him. I'd go pay the bucks, get him in, because he would have been.
We don't like him because he always scores against us, that guy,
and us as well.
Yeah, we're ambivalent. First of all, we've started the rumour off that he's actually a barista in his spare time. It hasn't really taken, but we're still persisting with the rumour anyway, because he just does look like he should be adding coffee to your tray. But it would make no good for us at all, because he'd basically go from always scoring for Norwich to always scoring for Southampton. That wouldn't help us at all. Let's have a look. There's Joshua Kwasi. So somebody's basically bringing people in from Bundesliga or Bundesliga 2, depending on where people are at this particular time, from Hoffenheim. How's he slotting in? Is he any better? Is there hope for the recruitment?
he's young. I do question our recruitment at times. Johannes Spors is the sporting director who's come in to take up the role of bringing players in. He looks like a really promising young talent. He's really quick. He's fast. He had an okay pre-season. He looked really. He sort of like played a lot of games because Harwood Bellis was injured in a lot of the pre-season games, and he was bringing. I think Edwards had been with England at the Euros at the under-21. So he's come back from QPR. He doesn't look anything like the player he did last season at all, Edwards. Kwasi started the first two. He'd done really well against Wrexham. He had a bit of a mare at Ipswich against a really good side, but we were under a lot of pressure and just the shape of the side wasn't quite right. And look, we were playing way too high, and he got caught a couple of times, and everyone was on his back really, really quickly. He looks like a dud. He's not going to be good enough. He's rubbish, whatever. But he got dropped for the game against Stoke. But he come back in last night. I thought he had a really good game last night. I think he looks really steady. He's young. He's got a long way to go. He's not going to be a starter week in, week out. That's for sure. But I do like him. Again, not for here and now probably. And that's what I worry about our recruitment. You're trying to get players out there probably last year and everything that happened, and you want to freshen it up and rebuild. But you're bringing young players in for the future, and that's the thing that we do. And it's a little bit annoying at times because you do want to see somebody championship ready. Ben Mee was available from Brentford. You would have definitely been all over him. But then you're going to come on to Maz Roslev, who we brought in, who is at Brentford. And he's a signing that we actually did need.
Interesting. Let's just have a look at the some of the departures, because you've also got rumoured people coming in for Fernandes as well. So, but if we take a look at first, before we get there, somebody I wanted to talk about was Fraser, because you talked about Adam Armstrong and him sort of on the decline. I've always looked at Ryan Fraser. Obviously, we're not keen on Bournemouth here. For various previous reasons, many of them being Eddie Howe and his shithousery at the time, but that's just for us. It looks to me like Fraser has got the bit between his teeth, as I've seen it on the highlights. I've looked at him and gone, is he coming back up into fruition and kind of having a second, that's kind of a second wind, an Indian summer, if you will, for you guys? Or is it the fact that you just need more wing options in order to kind of take the weight off of him?
I'll put it all down to the manager. I put all of Ryan Fraser down to the manager. Obviously, he's done very well. Like, he's got a bit of a rap actually for not having a very good attitude, that he stinks clubs out and he causes issues wherever he goes. Look, he would be the first one to say last season was terrible. He did an interview with Adam Blackmore of BBC Radio Solent a couple of weeks ago, and I thought he was so good in it. And he basically went on to say that, last year he didn't have a proper pre-season. He's never had one since he's been here. He signed so late the first time round on the loan. He was out of favour at Newcastle training on his own. Come in late, but he was good in the Championship last time round. Last season, they couldn't get the final deal over to bring him in as a permanent signing until really late. So he missed pre-season again. He trained on his own. And he got sent off against Leicester early in the season. Let himself down, really. Didn't look as fit as he should have been. And he didn't play a great deal of football. And he just wasn't the Ryan that we saw in the Championship. He just didn't have that sparkle about him, and he lost it. And everyone said, "Oh, well, he's played. He's got his contract now. He doesn't care." And Russell Martin fell out with him, binned him off. He was nowhere near the squad. Juric didn't like him neither. So look, he's not complained. He sat in the background. He's been professional. He's kept training, he said. And then he's come back in pre-season. And Will Steele has basically said, everyone has a clean slate. He goes, I heard this about him. I've heard that about him. He said, I don't care what's gone on before. They have to prove to me they want to be here and they want to play for me. And Ryan Fraser has lost a shed load of weight due to the fitness regime that Steele's put in. He's got him so fit. He looks lean. He looks quick. He's not even playing. He's not played all the games on the wing. He played in 10. He played in the 10 in pre-season. In the first 3 games, he's played in probably 7 different positions, including right back. He's been absolutely brilliant. And the fact that he scored last night, I think we were all delighted for him, because he deserved a goal. If anyone deserved the score, it was Man, because he's been brilliant. He is, I would say, in every game, he's pretty much been man of the match in all the games, including the cup game last night. He was brilliant. He's just everywhere. He will be the one to watch the weekend at Vicarage Road, because his energy and his engine in it, and that little fire in his belly, I love it. I love what I'm seeing from him. I think a lot of him.
he's got no small amount of quality as well, which is excellent. So we start turning and thinking about what the scores are going to be. Before we get there, Martin, I'm afraid I've got to drag you into the personal hell that is Do Not Scratch Your Eyes, and an ongoing piece that we've been doing that I know Justin looks forward to every week so far.
Where is this going this week, Peter?
It's our opportunity, everybody, to play Untenable. Currently, the scores with Untenable are EFL 2, Justin 0. Justin has been letting himself down, to be quite frank, in terms of his knowledge of all things football. I grant you, I have changed the categories on one occasion, throwing him a curveball. But this time, if you're willing to play, sir, we're going to be asking you about your knowledge about a player who played for both Southampton and for Watford.
Is it
and
Chris
we're going to
Baird?
be turns. No, it's not Chris Baird. Be quiet, Justin. Wait until the big reveal. Honestly, no, we're going to be playing, if it's okay with you, the Kevin Phillips goals, excluding Sunderland because he scored far too many for them. Version of Untenable. Are you up for this, sir? Will you join us in this?
I'll give it a go. Yeah, absolutely, I will.
Excellent. I'm very, very keen that we do this because I think
I'm not going to play. Goodbye. See, oh no, I have to.
No,
Okay.
no, you join in. You bloody well join in. So let me just explain. We will take it in turns, or you will take it in turns, to name a team that you believe that Kevin Phillips may have scored goals for. The first thing we're going to do is take Sunderland out of the equation because he's scored so many goals. So many goals he has scored for them. It's absolutely frightening. Let's get this going on here. He has scored 130 goals for Sunderland, and frankly, that would just put one of you over the top straight away. So we're going to take this one out. There we go. Sunderland is out of action, but we're going to turn to our guest, Martin, sir. Martin, can you name a club that you think Kevin Phillips will have scored goals for? And of course, the more goals he scored, the more points you get. That's how we're going to judge the winner here. So I will let you into one thing. This is untenable. There is no number 10 this week, everybody. So it's from 2 through to 9. Martin, what team would you fancy Kevin Phillips to have scored many goals for?
Many goals. That's the big question. I'm trying to think back on his career now. I've got no idea how many he scored for Watford. I know that he was at West Bromwich Albion, so I'm going to have to say West Bromwich Albion. I just got no idea how many goals he scored there. It was after us.
That's fair enough. So he's saying West Brom. West Brom is the number 2 score, putting Martin into an early lead with 46 goals. That's very, very good. Justin, your turn. There are still more than enough opportunities here for you to get back into this and be able to force your way into this league, which is at the moment frustrating you. What team would you go for, Justin?
I know very little about Kevin Phillips, Peter. He was at Watford during one of my not going periods because I was working weekends. Well, he's played for us. He's played for Southampton. So who do I think he scored more goals for? Probably Watford. I'll go Watford, Peter.
He's going for Watford. Justin is saying Watford. He scored 25 goals for Watford. 25 goals for Watford. So at the moment, we've got 46 to Martin. Justin's trailing currently on 25. You can still do this. Martin, sir, back over to you. Who else? You've already got the number 2 team. Who do you think might be in number 3?
I was thinking it was going to be Birmingham City, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to go with Birmingham City.
He's going with Birmingham City. We've only got slots 3 through to 9 available, so we'll see where Birmingham come. Birmingham City, 22 points. Not a bad collection there, bearing in mind, 25 was the 4th. Justin, come on then, get us another team. You've done quite well by normally guessing geographically. It's normally been a version of guesswork on your part.
I'm trying to think other clubs that he played for. Birmingham was on my thought path there.
Okay.
He played for Palace, didn't he? And I know he scored against us in the 2013. No, that's a bit obvious. Did he play for Blackburn? Not Blackburn. Blackpool.
Blackpool. One of your previous guesses that worked out quite well for you, if I remember, for Clark Carlisle.
It did.
This is what happens, everybody. When Justin gets to panic, he just says Blackpool a lot and sees what happens. Strangely enough, it seems to work for you, which is quite good. That's very good indeed. That's very good.
Can I now bank? Like, is this like the weakest link where I can bank and then move on, or do I have to carry on going with this, Peter?
Well, no, you could bank, but you'd only be losing 68-44 again. So that's no good. We need to turn to Martin and see who else he might go for.
Leicester City. He played at Leicester.
He did, didn't he? He sort of kind of concluded things. He only got the 2 goals because he very quickly moved into a striker coach sort of role for that. Justin, chance for you to make something up here. Who do you think number 3 would be?
Well, did he score more goals for Southampton or for Crystal Palace? That's the question, isn't it?
Well, that is indeed the question. What do you think the answer is? Is really what we're looking for out of this. I mean, I appreciate I don't make the rules kind of plain enough, but that's really roughly over to you.
That's basically it, isn't it? That was my thought process. It's a thought
pretty much
process.
the essence.
I'll say Southampton.
He says Southampton. Is he going to be in 3, 7, 8, or no? It's not going to be 10. Which one's it going to be in? Oh my lord!
Look at
26 goals. 26
I didn't think he scored that anywhere near that amount of goals.
Gentlemen, this is a monumental moment. If I may just take a bit of your time. The scores currently after round 3 are Martin 70 goals, Justin 70 goals. Now we've almost found jeopardy in this load of old tribes. Let's carry it on. There's 2 teams left effectively. Who are you going to go for? Martin, the choice is yours.
Well, he played at Villa, but I can't remember any goals he scored at Villa. I'm gonna have to go with Villa because I don't know the other club he played for.
Well, it's Palace, wasn't it?
Oh, it's Palace. I'll go
Villa. He's gone for Villa.
I've gone for Villa. I should have said Palace. I didn't realise you played it. Yeah, no, it's Palace.
Oh,
you've done me.
He's got 75 goals. Justin,
listen,
there's 1 team left. Who do you think it could be?
Well, I'm going to go for Palace, Peter.
Are you sure about that? Are you
sure?
I
am. Yeah, because I think that's going to be slot 7 or the one that's left over. So yeah,
you're done. You've beaten me.
We've been waiting for the opportunity for Justin to actually get back into this game. We've been waiting to find out when would be the cherry on the icing of the cake of basically Kevin Phillips scoring against us in the playoff final. Not that we're very bitter, much, but this is it, people. This is Justin's moment. 77-70, Justin, sir. I am absolutely aghast. I really am.
As aghast as I am, Peter. I thought it was going to come up Baldock Town there or something like that, and
Well, I'm amazed. The scores are EFL 2, Justin 1.
He's back in it.
He's almost got some self-respect. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. Well done, gentlemen. Well done, Martin. You've inserted some level of urgency and excitement in this game, which, trust me, has not occurred so far this season. Never mind. Well, I think it's time. I think everybody knows it's time that we got onto something that is just generally pretty bad in our case.
The NSYE completely rubbish prediction league.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh, I've gone all blurry.
That always makes you go. I thought it was my eye issue again. That always makes you go blurry when you do that.
I don't know where I've gone. I'm blurry. Never mind.
Here we go.
We have to explain to Martin how rubbish this load of podcast
if you're not
is.
used to this bit, this is going to be where you go. Oh, you get away with this every week, do you? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We basically the average listener / viewer is nothing if not incredibly patient with us, Martin, which is really kind of what we're looking for primarily. The league table as it stands for the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes prediction league, which is really the last segment that you're going to have to endure here, Martin. On you've seen this through. Thank God you won 3-0 yesterday. It's going to kind of pay back for everything.
Take a debate over, yeah.
Only 1 team scored. AFC Postbox got 3 points after, I have to say, being much maligned by this week's tenable winner, Justin. He has now had 2 correct predictions. I need to explain to Martin. Martin, we had the idea that a member from the EFL, such as yourself, might come on and represent, and Justin and at one point Carl, but it's now just DNSYE make an option. And we wanted to see whether or not we could do well or do badly. And the answer, needless to say, was badly. Then we decided to see whether or not inanimate objects could come into view. This year, replacing a dog is AFC Postbox. Now, here is the prediction from AFC Postbox. This is Colin in Margate, who goes off, and on a small estate, there are a series of small postboxes, and he opens them in order to work out what the score is going to be. And that is winning this league. Gives you an idea of how good this is. So he has gone three. He's gone. Let's have a look. Where has he gone? He's gone 3-1. That's all very good. I like that. In addition to letterboxes, we have had we've had people rolling dice, and that's always worked quite well. Brett has taken over Backgammon FC, which is where is Backgammon FC on the league table? How are they doing? Mid-table, yes, definitely better than DNSYE, who are pointless at this moment in time. Again, gives you an idea. The problem with Brett is he's notoriously unreliable, and so far he's thrown some of the dice down a toilet, and today he's trying to find the least applicable place that he can roll dice in. Here's Brett, everybody. You know what to expect.
I've never been to Southampton, but I could well imagine it might be totally deserted like this place. Score prediction: Watford versus Southampton. Watford at home. 4 - 1 is 3 to Watford, and Southampton. Oh, it's 6 - 5 is 1. 3-1. Come on, you horns.
There you go. He's also gone 3-1, which is, it's what can you do? Inanimate objects basically predict 3-1 for some strange reason. Colin via Postbox did say that he thought that was completely rubbish and that we wouldn't beat you, but he said that the Postboxes wouldn't change. So the scores we have so far are 2 3-1 predictions. Our Patreons also take it on a sort of a round robin basis. And last week, if we remember, Paul Fiander Turner was on holiday in Italy, and there were fireworks going off. You said he was in Senegal. Here's Paul, this time getting in first to make the prediction.
Right, just back from my holiday in Senegal, and I predict on Saturday it'll be Watford 1, Southampton 1. We'll get an early goal, and I hope we can hold on, but probably won't, and it'll end up being a draw. 1-1. Come on, you horns.
So he's thinking it's
it
a
was
repeat of the
Senegal.
Swans.
I said it was Senegal. I knew it was.
I think he was saying that tongue in cheek. I think we can now turn to our representative for the EFL, Martin, who's basically put up with being asked how many goals Kevin Phillips scored for another team that he's not interested in remotely, and say what do you think the scores are going to be on Saturday when the Saints visit the Hornets?
Oh, I think it'd be interesting. There's a bit of a cliche, no game's easy in the Championship, and that is 100% for sure. We've had it against Stoke City the weekend, and I think Saints will edge it. I think pressure off away from being at home will help. I think getting away from home, we played a lot better away from home last season than we did at home. I'm pretty sure we sold out the away end, so the fans are being full voice from the south coast, not too far for us to travel. My first visit to Vicarage Road, so okay. I'm hoping I'm going to walk away a happy man. So yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-1 narrow victory for Saints, with another late show. I'm going to go with a late goal from Taylor Harwood-Bellis from a header. He was good at set play last week, Harwood-Bellis, a one to watch for sure.
Very good. Do you suspect Watford will score from a set piece or from open play?
A breakaway. It'd be on a breakaway on the counter. I expect we'll probably commit too many men and be naive, and you'll turn us over. And in transition, we can be a little bit sluggish at times. We need to be a bit more compact, which we haven't been. But we also need to be better going forward. We don't transition front to back quick enough. that's a bit of a concern. That's why they're trying to find. That's why they're bringing Finn as in, because they need somebody that's going to drop deep and pick the ball up and sort of start to get Ryan Fraser and get these players into the game and get us up the field quicker. We're just a little bit slow in transition. The pitches have actually played quite slow so far that we've played. Certainly at St Mary's, it's a new pitch. The grass is fresh. It's just seemed a bit sluggish at the weekend. I'm not just saying it was sticky pitch, but it was. It felt like it. And even though it was drenched, it just felt like it was a slow pitch, a bit like that at Ipswich as well. So hopefully we'll play a bit faster.
I think you will enjoy the Vicarage Road pitch. Justin and I went along and interviewed our groundsman, because we got the Premier League grounds, and the one thing that's been absolutely knocked out of the park, literally, has been the pitch. It's been wonderful. And since we went and spoke to him, Scott Tingley has been posting videos of various different robotic and other pieces of engineering going out there. And I did ask him where was the dog, and he said that Didier, he's a Chelsea fan, has been banned temporarily. What can we do? Right, so we've got 2-1 to the Saints. We've got Backgammon going 3-1 to Watford, as is AFC Postbox. The Patrons have gone for a 1-1. Justin, what are you going to go for?
Well, late goals has been a little bit of a theme for us, isn't it? Or conceding later on in the game. We sort of run out of steam around 60 or 70 minutes. So, I mean, is Iran Kunda fit? Is he going to play, do we think? Or is he, because he came up lame, didn't he, against Swansea? I don't know.
He's kind of, I think his thing is from the medical team is that he's a sort of a 60-minute player. I think there's a lot of minutes being managed through the squad at the moment, and I think he's probably one of those.
Right, because I thought he was holding the back of his leg.
Yes, that's true.
I would like to think he's going to start, and I'd like to think we're going to start well. We're going to do well. I think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win 2-0, Peter.
This is confidence. Look at this. I tell you what, having an untenable victory has made him all giddy.
It's gone to my head, Peter. It's gone to my head.
None of your predictions have come right at all so far this season.
Not
this
one.
is something that will make Martin sleep soundly, I would suggest.
I mean, I'm not going to put money on it, but I'm going to go for a 2-0.
This is true. Well, we've got a 2-1 to the Saints. We've got 2-0 to Watford, 3-1 and 3-1 to Watford, and a 1-1, which means, as we know, points will be awarded. So that's very, very excited. I love that. Love that indeed. Well, we'll get to see how things go. Have we got any comments that we need to go through, Justin?
Well, there are a few. We'll start.
Let Martin get back to his day.
We'll start at the top here. It's mainly about what we were talking about before Martin came on. So that's the right direction is about the fans board, the shadow board. It's good to see one of those.
Have you got a supporters board down at Southampton? Are you aware?
Yeah, they do. There's a fan advisory board. I don't know loads about it. I don't know how involved they are and what impact they have, but they do have a fan advisory board. Someone did message me a few days ago. I mentioned it actually. He said, "Oh, do you want to catch up some stage?" So yeah, I need to find out a bit more what they do and how close the link is with the ownership group.
Yeah,
absolutely. What Simon said.
He said, well said, Peter, about the supporters board. Let's get the right people voted on. So don't forget, I think the voting opens on Friday, and I think it's for 9 days. So if you want to make sure that the sort of people that you want representing you on this, go and have a look and see what's going on there. Thomas Parker says Wi-Fi gate. Yes, I know all about that. And Josh Lewis 1607 says head down to Welling Garden O2 Virgin Media. I've heard nothing but bad things about in this area. You with Virgin, aren't you, Peter?
I am indeed. It works. It just costs a bloody fortune, but there we are. Never mind.
Right. Okay. Josh also picks you up on the spelling of Southampton in our title. It does say Southampton. It does say Southampton.
Oh, look at this. I always now people will have noted that last week in Untenable, I spelt championship wrong. And this time it's Southampton's turn. It's just an extra bit of value that we put in by throwing in the occasional mistake for you to be able to find. Believe that, you believe anything. Carry on.
Absolutely.
Thomas
Parker's going for Watford 4, Southampton 1. He's
how many of those beers has Tom had at that particular point? But I like it. I like it nonetheless.
I would suggest. And then there's a couple of other bits as well, which are sort of talking points. When Pollock is back, he can play in the middle of three centre-backs. We've missed his leadership, physicality and ability in the air, in my opinion. He had played at Charlton, I believe. We would not have lost. I mean, yeah, we've still got that option, haven't we? We've still got Pollock as an option to come into the back.
There are options and there are injuries in the squad. You know, I mentioned straight away, obviously, you know, Chak Fatadza. We've had a number of players who could possibly come in. We've got the suspension, obviously, to Imran Louza, which will be a big bonus for Southampton in terms of in the middle. But we'll see how things go. I think the big hopes and the big impression that has thus far been made by Hector Kyprianou is that he can hopefully hold the fort and do really well, because he's one who's come out to us from Peterborough, Martin, and he looks the real deal, which is very good. But I agree with you about Pollock. Sometimes you need, and I always used to say, if somebody's playing at the back, do your job first of all. Your primary job there is to defend. Yes, go and play lovely football and all of this and other stuff, but provided you do your first basic job in that role, will always help. So, Elliot, I agree with you, sir. I agree with you.
So John Myers says, once he's fit, what do you see his role being? I think Kevin and Abankwah are pretty effective at the back. Although, we'll be saying that Abankwah was at fault for the Swansea goal.
I think there was enough fault to go around there, because there was a communication issue, and one of the things that Pollock will do is bark in an old, English tradition of shouting at absolutely everything, even if it's not moving. Still shout at it a bit, could help. He's got limitations. Everybody's got limitations. This is the Championship. It's not the Champions League. So, I think with Pollock as his fitness. How long have we seen Kevin stay fit for a run of games? 5, 6, maybe.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be pulls. There's going to be niggles. There's going to be opportunity for people to kind of jump out. So I would like to keep Pollock. The question is what the situation is with regard to the finances. Obviously, we're talking to a gentleman here who's seen an awful lot of players exiting. Your club, and you're hoping that obviously some more will come in. Who are you hoping, in addition to Finn Azaz, or what positions do you think you guys need strengthening? Because you've only bought 3 in. We bought in a lot, but then we've seen the season go, and now we're looking at what we need to supplement what we've got. What does Southampton be looking for before the close on Monday?
If it was me, I'd go get a wide man. We need someone wide. We need a winger. We need an out-and-out winger, but we need a good winger. So who that is, I'm not sure. There was a lot of talk around Jack Rodoni at Coventry. He's not going to go anywhere with the season they're having there. That would be really ambitious. I think he's really said he wants to stay there. But we do need. There was talk of Tom Fellows actually at West Bromwich Albion. I think he'd be a really good signing. He'd be right up at top of my list. I still think we need to go and find a striker. I don't think Stewart would be fit enough. I don't think Downs would be anywhere near good enough. And I think it leaves us really short in the number 9 position. Armstrong can't play it, so that leaves you with Archer. So we're short up front. I'd go bring a striker in. Absolutely. I think you're probably going to need some cover in central midfield. There's no doubt Mateus Fernandes will probably go to West Ham. Yeah, I think he will go. The money's right. He'd go, and if they come back with a 35 million pound bid for him, I think he will go. The money talk. Saints do need to recruit. Everyone's saying that they don't need to sell it. Oh yeah, we don't need to sell him now because we sold Diblin. Well, they will need to raise 100 million quid. So they will sell him, like 100%. They will sell him. It just end up being a deadline day deal. Is he too good for the Championship? Yeah, he probably is. Fernandes. He is a really good player. Look, I'd be glad to see him go. I'm not sure what sort of, if he's not a 10. He's a right number 8. He plays a number 8 role quite well. He works hard, plays a lot of simple passes, does a bit of what James Ward-Prowse does, just gives it, but runs around a lot. He doesn't create loads of chances, and I've probably been a bit outspoken by being a little bit negative about him, but right. I'm not convinced anyone else other than West Ham's going to come and bid for him. I just don't see who's going to pay 40 plus million for him. That he's had 1 year in the Premier League and one of the worst teams ever. Do you know what I mean? And not scored loads of goals. So
out of the frying pan in the fire with West Ham at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the greatest move, would it? Yeah, they are. It wouldn't be the greatest move in the world, would it? So I think he's very wise.
A very interesting point that somebody put to me in the chat I was having earlier on was with a lot of the Premier League teams, obviously, and it all comes from the kind of Brentford are holding on to Vissa, and you got the whole thing going up at Newcastle, and with a lot of them kind of holding on. a lot of those secondary teams aren't able to go in and do, kind of go and get what falls out of those Premier League teams, which means that, his fear was that, again, a number of Premier League teams might come looking in the Championship in the last few days because they haven't had the fallout from other Premier League squads. It'll be interesting to see, but there we go. But before that, obviously, we'll face you guys and take you on, and do enjoy your first trip to Vicarage Road.
I'm looking forward to it.
I hope it's enjoyable, but not too enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Are you coming by public transport? Are you driving?
Now we're coming up with some friends. So yeah, it's a good friend of mine. We do a lot of away games together. We did every 1-2 last year. For our sins. So yeah, we're gonna come up. We're gonna drive up, just park outside, probably jump on a train. I create loads of match day vlogs for my channel, and I get a lot of fan reactions. So I'm gonna vlog the whole day. I capture all the fan reactions. I try and get some Watford fans on pre-match. Try and get a few thoughts about their season. And yeah, I'm looking forward to experiencing it, and I'll just try and showcase it in the best possible light from an away fan's perspective.
And where can the Watford fans sort of find your content after Saturday, in terms of finding out whether or not anybody they know has come on and explained why we should have brought on somebody else in the 75th minute or something?
Yeah, my channel's called at Football Martin. I'm on YouTube, all the major platforms, but I do a lot of YouTube content. TikTok as well, but predominantly YouTube, a lot of long form content. I do an instant reaction video within around 30 minutes of the final whistle, so I give my thoughts on it. Very honest, I'm not biased. I just say it how I see it. I did the Stoke game at the weekend. I was complimentary about Stoke because I was totally honest about them, and you get a lot of respect in the game if you're honest and you're not biased. Though I'm a Southampton fan, I want to see us do well. I just be honest and open. I say it out exactly how I see it, and everyone gets involved in the comments. They get watched by 6, 7, 8,000 people at a time. So building a really nice community, traveling up and down the EFL this year. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying it.
Lovely stuff.
Nice.
Get over and have a look at Martin's content. Martin, thank you so much for your time this evening. No, absolutely splendid stuff. Much appreciated. Justin, sir.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thank you very much, Martin. And thank you, everybody who is watching either on YouTube or on X. Please like and subscribe because then you'll get notifications when we're live and that sort of stuff. We will be back after the game on Saturday. This is a 3 o'clock Saturday match, isn't it, Peter? One of those rare 3 o'clock Saturday.
I don't think 3 o'clock. I think 3 o'clock's been moved from the official clock these days. I don't think such a thing exists anymore. I'm fairly sure.
Yeah,
yes.
I think you're right. So that means we'll probably be back here about 5:20-ish on Saturday with the post-match phone-in here and on X as well. If you want to talk to us, you can do that on X. If you want to watch and send your comments, and you can do it on YouTube. We'll be on both platforms. And I think we may have cracked one of our technical issues. That does remain to be seen. The proof is in the pudding, as always, but we think we may have cracked one of our issues, and we may have a much better stream this time round. Having said that, now it's all going to fall over. But please join us. It'd be good to have you around. And until then, come and see us down the bunker before the game as well, by the way. If you want to be on one of our little TikTok videos, they seem to be going quite well. You might get asked such questions as which Watford footballer should go on Strictly Come Dancing. That's just part of what we do, right? We don't tend to ask anything sensible. We ask nonsense like that. But if you want to get involved and give us your opinion on silly things like that, come down the bunker before the game. We'll be doing a little bit of filming. Be good to see you. I think I'm out of things to say now, Peter. So shall we say goodnight?
I think we shall. You warns.
You warns.